I've spent the last 10 years constructing what I believe to be a solid existence. My wife, Sophia, has been at the forefront of it all, and I've always tried to make her happy. I'm not a wealthy man with a fortune in the bank, but I've paid our bills and provided for Sophia's needs, despite working long hours and facing tough deadlines. I was proud to be the one who could make things work, even when money was tight. Sophia has always had a penchant for the finer things in life. Even though she is unique in her own way, her monthly rent payment goes toward luxury purses, vacation, spots that were completely unknown to me until she showed me pictures and restaurant dinners where the cost made my stomach turn. But I didn't mind too much. I always found a way to make it happen, because that's what true love does. It demands sacrifice, even in the face of difficulty. A peaceful evening spent at home with her, interspersed with occasional expressions of gratitude, was all I needed in return. However, in hindsight, I should have been more vigilant. There were warning signs, subtle holes in the idyllic existence I imagined Sophia and I shared. Her friends, Clara and Rachel, were obsessed with showing off. Every vacation had to be flawless for Instagram. Sunsets in foreign places, cocktails with tiny umbrellas, clothes that screamed money. I'd come home exhausted from work, my shoulders aching from sitting at a desk all day, and she'd roll her eyes if I suggested saving instead of shopping. "You're too serious," she'd say, laughing like it was a joke. And I'd chuckle too, brushing it off, because I didn't want to argue. I loved her too much to see what was right in front of me. Love can make you stupid like that, blind to the things you don't want to admit. Then, suddenly everything changed. It was late, maybe 10 at night, and I was driving home from a conference that had stretched on forever. My eyes were weary, but I kept going, thinking about how I'd surprise Sophia with takeout. Maybe from that place she liked. I didn't see the other car until it was too late. There was a loud screech, metal crushing, glass shattering, and then nothing. Just black. When I opened my eyes again, I was in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines that beeped every few seconds. My whole body felt like it had been run over by a truck. The doctor walked in, a serious guy with glasses, and told me I'd been lucky. A fractured arm, some cracked ribs, a concussion. Nasty, but not deadly. "You'll need weeks to recover," he said. I nodded, still groggy, and reached for my phone. I expected Sophia to be freaking out. Maybe blowing up my email with worried texts. Maybe even crying at my bedside when I woke up. But she wasn't there. My phone was on the little table next to me. When I grabbed it, I saw just one notification. A voicemail. I pressed play, expecting to hear her voice shaking, telling me she was on her way. Instead, it was light. Casual, like she was leaving a message about grocery shopping. "Hey, sweetheart. Hope you're feeling better." So me, Clara, and Rachel had already planned this Rome trip, and we're going ahead as scheduled. Don't worry about us. We're going to have so much fun. Just rest, okay? Yeah, and please don't call and bother us. That was it. No, I love you. No, are you okay? Nothing. My chest clenched, and not just from the cracked ribs. She didn't even ask if I was alive. I replayed it, thinking maybe I'd misheard. But no, it was clear as day. My wife, the woman I'd spent years bending over backward for, was leaving me here, broken and alone, to go party in Italy, and she didn't want me to bother her. I sat there, staring at the cracked screen of my, phone. The hospital room swirled around me. The beeping machines felt louder, mocking me. I'd always convinced myself that Sophia loved me in her own way, that her spending habits and attitude didn't mean she didn't care. But this wasn't, love. This was something else, something cold, something selfish. I thought about all the times I'd ignored the red flags, the way she smirked when I said we couldn't afford something, the way Clara and Rachel giggled about how responsible I was, like it was a bad thing. I'd let it slide, because I didn't want to lose her. But now, lying here, with a busted body and a voicemail that might as well have been a slap in the face, I realized I'd been lying to myself. She didn't care about me, not the way I cared about her, and that hurt more than the accident ever could. The nurse walked in, asking if I needed anything. I just shook my head. I didn't trust my voice yet. My mind was racing, reliving every moment of our marriage, every sacrifice I'd made, the late hours at work, so she could have that new purse. The weekends I spent alone while she was out with her friends, the way I smiled and said, "It's fine," when she brushed me off. I had given her everything, and this was what I got in return. A voicemail, a cheerful little note telling me not to ruin her fun. My hands tightened into fists, nails digging into my palms. For the first time in years, I wasn't just hurt, I was angry. The accident had broken my body, but Sophia? She had broken something else entirely, and I wasn't sure I could forgive her for it. Fine. I figured if she wanted to leave me behind like I was nothing, then I'd leave her behind too. She didn't get to treat me like this and keep everything I'd given her. Not anymore. My mind started racing, and before I realized it, I was reaching for my laptop. It was on the table next to me, a tiny scratch from the wreck, but still operating. I placed it on my lap, wincing as my ribs ached, and logged into our bank accounts. We had joint accounts, everything tied together, because I believed her. Enormous. Error. My fingers moved fast, inputting passwords, pulling up balances. I saw the charges begin stacking up. Rome, coffee, cafes, stores, a huge one from some posh restaurant. My money, squandered without a second thought. I clenched my teeth and set to work. First, I disabled all the ATM cards linked to her name. Click, done. No more cash for her. Then I closed every bank account she had access to, our checking, our savings, the emergency fund I'd built up over years. Click, click, click. She wasn't getting a dime. Finally, I got into the credit cards and canceled any foreign transaction privileges. Everything she tried to swipe in Italy declined. Pointless. It took maybe 10 minutes, and after I was done, I leaned back, breathing hard. Sophia and her companions were stranded now. No money, no method to pay for anything. Good luck with your enjoyment, I thought, a bitter taste in my mouth. I closed the laptop and set it aside, my heart hammering, but not from agony this time. It was something else. Happiness, maybe. Strength, perhaps, for once. I wasn't the guy simply taking it. I'd hit back. I could see her expression when her card got denied, that smug little smile vanishing. Clara and Rachel, frightened, clinging to her side. They'd definitely contact me soon. Pleading, yelling, whatever. I didn't care. I grabbed my phone, still sitting there with that damn voicemail, and put it on silent. No more beeps, no more distractions. The room was quiet now. Only the buzz of the machines and my own breathing. Closed my eyes, letting the rage settle into something solid, something I could grip onto. Sophia believed she could walk all over me, leave me here like trash, and still keep living her perfect little life on my dime. She was wrong. I wasn't. Sure what would happen next, but for the first time in days, I felt like I could rest, so I did.